Give us the clap. Clap is on. Y'all ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 3 for 3 podcast.
Come on.
Yeah. Brought to you by Gatorade. Stay thirsty, my friends. Paul Nelson, Frank LaFata, Alex Gullett, bringing you sports, life, and everything else. Again, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Man, Merry Christmas.
Today, we're going to be talking about a couple things. We have our NFL roundtable, as usual.
Come on.
We have college football playoff predictions.
Let's go.
And then finally, we're going to try and beat Uncle Sam. We whooped his tail last week.
Got him.
We crushed him.
Got him.
We demolished him.
We coming.
By one game. But still, that's a win. That's a win. And we are also going to give out some New Year's resolutions.
Let's
New Year's,
do that.
The year of Jordan is coming through. 23 is almost here. But before we start
that is the year of Jordan.
It's also the year of LeBron.
No.
It is his
No.
birthday. No blasphemy.
Hey,
on
let
the
us
birthday.
know. Let us know on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Is this the year of Jordan or the year of LeBron? It's the year of Jordan.
Speaking of,
Jordan's retired.
I think somebody here wants to wish a special happy birthday.
Happy birthday to LeBron Bartholomew James. His name is not Bartholomew, but we're going to use it for this moment.
Okay, actually, happy birthday to my mother-in-law. Happy birthday.
What
Love
a
you.
good son.
Listen. Don't break me up with my LeBron. It's the
That
only
was-
chance I ever had of speaking to him.
Let's be real and
We're
keep
gonna
the
go
important people first.
Exactly. So as I was saying,
LeBron. Yeah, so you're going to LeBron first.
This is a moment.
I'm sorry, Bonnie.
Sometimes you get a chance to speak, and this is one of those moments. I have to admit, it's been a really hard last couple of years watching the Lakers with LeBron. I really feel
Really.
this is more like the first set in Cleveland with the Lakers. It's the same exact thing. They refuse to do what it takes to win a championship.
Come on.
And it's getting tiresome of him going unbelievable numbers and us just continuing to have a losing record. It's sad. It's troublesome. It's discouraging. We feel for you.
Can we have a bigger pity party to start the show?
We
Is
feel
this?
that.
I was
went from happy birthday LeBron to a pity party.
Yeah, I was expecting happy birthday, LeBron, 38. You've never done, you are Creed and everything. You just took it really. Listen, that's going to be it for the NBA for a little while, right?
Palinka,
Okay.
this is more for you.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
Now, one thing that we're going to just mention really quickly, going from happy birthday to happy trails. Nat Hackett, Denver. Sorry. If you're looking for a job, please come to the 3 for 3 podcast. We'd love to have you on. You can tell your side of the story, how you never wanted Russ Wilson, how you always wanted Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
He's going to be a highly sought out offensive coordinator somewhere.
Hey, since we're not talking about the NBA, Chuck and Kenny and Ernie and Shaq would say he's gone fishing.
Gone fishing.
Gone fishing.
He's gone fishing.
Later this year, we'll talk about coaching carousel, where coaches are going to end up. His name is probably going to be on a lot of offensive coordinator lists. But first, one of the bigger stories this week was Tua in Miami. Yeah. So, the Tua reaction. Let's get some thoughts. Let's start with you, Alex. Concussion, a no-go for this weekend. What does that mean for the Dolphins? What's it mean for Tua?
I think they sat him for the season, right?
I don't think they confirmed
No.
the season. I think it's
They
just
didn't
this
confirm
week.
the season.
They confirmed it was not for the season. It's just for right now.
I know I saw kind of a snippet of Mike McDaniels talking, and he was like, the doctors have informed Tua the best thing he can do right now is to worry about the day that he's in and not worry about tomorrow, like in playing essence. Man, poor Tua. I look at the guy. I don't think he's uber talented. I think he's a decent NFL quarterback. I think he's got a great skill players around him. I think he was set up for success in Miami. What a great coach they have over there. But this is serious, and I think I don't want to be. I hate for the beginning of the show to be this serious. But when you look at mental health, you look at brain damage, you look at all of the studies they've done in the NFL, CTE, all that kind of stuff that's happened. Like when is enough? My question isn't like how should we react to Tua, but when do we call it a career? And I hate to see it that short-lived, but this is dangerous. This guy's had, 3 concussions this year in the last couple weeks?
This is the third one. And it's
yeah.
I think listen, they did the right thing. It's like concussions, it doesn't have to be. Everybody was overreacting of, well, they should have known during the game. Listen, you can have concussion-like symptoms days after. And as soon as they found out, hey, there are some concussion-like symptoms, they did the right thing. Hey, we're going to evaluate. We're going to get in touch with the Players Union. We're going to get in touch with the NFL, team doctors. And they chose to sit him. They did the right thing by Tua, by his family. But there's an athlete's ability to say, I'm not done. I'm not going to. You have to be arrogant to a certain level to be a high caliber athlete, and that's what Tua is.
For sure. I heard, just to throw out another podcast that I listened to, The Herd, Coward, but Nick Wright was actually standing in for him this week, and Nick Wright was like, hey, this is going to be an unpopular reason. He's a voice of reason. He was like, but at what point, once he's cleared by doctors, once all of that, it's literally the player's decision, if he's going to play or not. They know the consequences. They know what could be coming. But we should let the players decide. I'm not sure I agree with that. I feel like maybe the NFL needs to step in. When do we force them out?
Nick Wright, like usual, has wrong takes. I mean, dollar store skip, right? That dude, he's fishing for whatever unpopular opinion there is.
Yeah.
Frank, what are your thoughts on Tua? I mean, they're going with Teddy Two Gloves.
So I will say he broke my fantasy team's heart this weekend. And also he broke every Dolphins fan's heart this weekend. They really needed that win. I needed you to score more than 10 points, but that's just a personal level.
Whoop, whoop.
This happens every once in a while. You draft a player, they have a lot of talent, and they get injured. And whether this is a brain injury or a leg injury, it's an injury. And for me, it's more thinking going forward. I guess for them and for him, if he's from what I've read about CTE and concussion symptoms, if he can bounce back and he can come back to normal, then leading CTE experts say he should continue to play. It's okay. If he can't bounce back and he can't come back to normal, then that's when you should start pulling the plug. It's too early right now after this concussion to really see how it's going. But on the other end of that, for the Dolphins, I'm guessing you just keep rolling the dice. I mean, like, the kid wants to play. It's not like you're doing something against his will. He wants to play. He's getting paid millions of dollars. And there comes to a certain extent where, like, if he wants to go, you go with this guy. But if I'm the Dolphins, I am head hunting. Well, everything I can do to get a backup or another player.
Yeah, there. And I think there were many professionals who came back and said he was ready to come back last time. And I would say, like, how do we really know that he's going to be okay? Because when I look at it, it's repeating itself now. Concussion.
Once
concussion.
You get a concussion, you are more likely to incur another concussion.
I remember Aikman's career ending that way. It was concussion.
Cowboys reference. Listen, that's a new personal record.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Attaboy. For the fans. Now, one thing's for sure. I get what everybody's saying. Just, wrap up the Tua discussion. My 10-year-old son would love to eat ice cream for breakfast. And he might say, Dad, this is fine with me. I'm good with it. Shout out Mason. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't step in and say, all right, unpopular, opinion, you probably shouldn't eat ice cream.
I agree.
So, from one quarterback that we know is going to be benched to another one, which kind of was surprising, Derek Carr.
Unbelievable.
Derek Carr being benched.
Was it surprising?
Yes.
If
you look at his contract and the guaranteed money, if he's healthy, if he's hurt, so if he gets hurt, he's guaranteed X amount. Is it surprising when they know they want to move away from him to bench him?
No.
So that he doesn't get hurt? That's a brilliant move. That's what they're supposed to do. That's why contracts are written like that.
Well, no. I hate to say you're wrong, but I'm going to. You're wrong. After this year, they have an out. I think his dead cap space goes from some ungodly number like $63 million to $5.9.
Yeah.
So this is the year they were going to get off
unless
him.
he's injured.
It was still even then you can still get off of him.
It's guaranteed if he was injured.
But the problem with me is what did they expect him to do?
True.
Because last year he had similar stats. He has literally like 2 more interceptions. He's going to end up with more touchdowns, more yards. just a couple more interceptions, but he's throwing the ball a lot more. So you got the same guy you got last year, and last year you had a winning record. Are you blaming the loss on the quarterback? Everything when he's having the similar type of stats?
Check this out. Stat for you. Since Derek Carr's been on the Raiders, they've averaged in the last couple of years the worst defense in the NFL. He's had the worst defense in the NFL.
But the losses are his fault.
His whole tenure with the Raiders.
Yeah, I think a lot of that goes back to the GM, Mike Mayock. You know, he chose Cleveland Farrell. He chose – there were certain players in the draft that were off the team after year one. He decided that, you know, he probably should have stayed on TV.
Some people are made for TV.
Yeah, stayed out of the GM office. Absolutely right. Yeah.
What about Devontae Adams, though?
I was just going to say, you know, Devontae came out. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet, right?
Yeah,
he
it's a tweet.
defended him.
That was amazing. And then
How can he not?
I loved Brandon Ayuk coming back at him and saying, "Hey, if you want to stand strong with your guy, why don't you go ahead and sit out?" You know, that wouldn't break my heart. You sat out.
Is he wrong?
No, everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk's wrong. Yeah, you shouldn't sit out. Listen, you shouldn't sit out.
Make a statement, Devontae. Am I playing Devontae this week?
They're playing each other. That's why he's doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but am I playing Devontae in fantasy football? I need to check
No,
it out.
you are
if
not.
I am,
You are
I'm
not. You are
okay,
not. I've
never
been
mind. You
watching
can
your
play if
team.
you want. I don't care.
It's very interesting. Let's see who was doing their homework. Who's going to be starting for the Raiders?
Stidham.
Oh, I have it right here. Let's see. Where's it at?
Former New England draft pick. Come on now.
Former Auburn Tiger.
Nate.
Insert random backup quarterback here. That's what I've written down.
Jared-
That's exactly
Jared
what right
Stidham,
here.
yeah.
Random
Insert
backup.
backup here. Yeah, that's
You gotta love Frank's notes. Like you gotta love it.
Frank definitely gets 1 point for random QB.
So I was gonna look up his name, and I was like, why?
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 They might go back to Derek Carr. I just love the idea that they say, like, we're doing this for him. We're doing this for Derek to keep his trade value up. Let's be honest. You're just signaling to everybody, hey, throw a 4th-round pick at us and you can have Derek Carr.
We're doing it for Derek to keep his trade value up. That's for him.
That's for him. That's for him.
So he can't choose where he's going.
You know the problem is Derek Carr's averaged 25 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions, and 250 yards a game for the last couple of years. Like he can help a team. Would he make the Texans better? Would he make the Jets better? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Derek
Yeah.
Carr?
He's not going to make them worse.
Derek Carr.
He swings around 13 a year. 13 to 15 a year. Interceptions. Sorry, I had to.
Those are
I had
Kirk
to correct
Cousins
you,
numbers.
because even though I inserted random backup guy here, I did look up.
I didn't know if you meant his golf handicap or what you were going like. He swings 13. I was like, what? Does he?
Swinging about.
I'll tell you what, that's
Vegas
not
got some
good.
courses, man.
That's just
Swinging about.
some stats. You know, I know. Anthony, my dude Anthony, Frank's dad. Shout
out Netta.
Shout out. Loves the stats. 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns, and again 14 interceptions, same as last year. So you were spot on. You get another point for that, Frankie. Good job, buddy.
Killing it. Random QB.
Now Derek Carr might be getting benched, but man, have we seen a rejuvenation out of another quarterback?
Does it not? Is it like refreshing to watch him?
Who?
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, Baker Mayfield.
The West Coast is like
Listen,
Baker Nation.
Smell that. What's that? Is that fresh cookies? Is that
And
fresh bread?
It's not Buddha.
It's pre-show notes.
The baker is cooking. The baker is cooking. Okay, so Alex, is Baker back?
I think Baker couldn't ask for a better situation to try to rejuvenate his career. You're in there with a brilliant offensive head coach. The Rams team, whether they're good or not,
Not good. I'll tell you right now, not good.
McVay can still coach his butt off, right?
Yeah.
He's still brilliant offensively. He's going to put Baker in situations that help Baker do Baker things. Everybody does things well. Baker has some of those things. McVay's going to get the most out of the talent he has. Love that. Love the show last week of Baker, rooting for him. That was really cool to see.
Frank, I got some stats for you.
Shoot.
Hey,
Shoot 'em.
8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 69% completion rate, 846 yards. Pretty darn good. You'd call that really good, right?
That's pretty good.
And a game-winning drive.
That's pretty good.
Do you think that is? Would you say that's like upper tier? Like, hey, he's living up to what he was?
Well, let's call it like it is. So 2 years ago, he was in the playoff battle. They were talking about like he's the next guy in Cleveland. And then I go and look at his stats since then. And guess what? It's the same exact stats. This year he's got the same stats he had 2 years ago.
So
I
those
don't know what's going on in the
He
NFL
was a
right
great
now.
young
They're like, oh, he's not good enough now.
Those are good stats, though, right?
Yeah.
Those are Brock Purdy stats. Baker's stats, because I know you hate
Love
Brock
that.
Purdy. So let me tell you Baker's stats, okay? Baker's, thank you.
Yes.
You fell for that all day. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 69% completion percentage, 571 yards. That's right. Brock Purdy has outperformed. First of all,
Baker Mayfield.
how dare you? Second of all, you need to go ahead and apologize to Brock publicly.
I have to say something. I didn't. I thought I was going to get more into my Baker Mayfield, so I'm a little bit caught off guard.
Was anybody ready for this?
I wasn't. But I will say
You should have been.
I'm getting Tom Brady vibes now. I didn't think Tom Brady was going to be the
Wow.
guy in New England. I love Drew Bledsoe. He was my heart in New England. I actually was rooting for him to win. And then this really, really sharp-chinned fella came in,
Sharp chin.
and he had a heck of a season. And
Ran a 5.7 40.
5'7", 20.
Dad bod before dad bod.
He was the Michigan guy who never was.
Couldn't beat Drew Henson out of a job.
Come on
He would
now.
come in the fourth quarter and save
Shout
the
out
Michigan
Dallas
team.
Cowboys, Drew Henson.
Shout out New York Yankees, Drew Henson. Shout out probably parking cars somewhere, Drew Henson. He probably owns
Shout
like
out
4
Hilton
dealerships.
Garden.
We're going to talk about the Cowboys' problems. That's one of them. But beyond that, I'm looking at him now, and I'm like, he's the guy that nobody expected to happen. That's happening. And honestly, looking at that team, I was shocked looking at the record, just going over some of the stats today. They're like 2 games out of the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
So I guess to wrap this up, right? Baker or Brock? Who would you pick? Frank, I'm going to let that marinate. Alex, I'm going to come to you first. So if you had to pick Brock or Baker, who are you picking?
I'm picking Baker Mayfield.
You said all this good stuff.
I mean, great argument. I'm picking Baker Mayfield.
Frankie?
I'm taking Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Baker Mayfield.
You know, we happen to have an audience today, and the audience is saying yes, Baker. Both of these guys. Listen, these are some facts. Okay, Baker was the first pick overall, right?
Absolutely.
He won the Heisman. He's
did.
looked amazing at times. He has put the weight of Cleveland on his shoulders at times. Now he is doing things that are crazy when you think about that. He was just on another team, Carolina, and now he's doing great things for the Rams.
Let me ask you this. Are the Cleveland Browns better this year or last year?
Well, let me just finish this and say I'm going Brock Purdy. Everything points to Baker, so I'm going Brock. Listen, you guys.
Somebody has to stand up for
Somebody-
Brock. I'm glad it's you.
For me-
Mr. Relevant.
For me, calling him the next Tom Brady and you being a Bills fan, this is somewhat blasphemy.
He's not Tom Brady.
He
And
is not.
Listen, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. All this terrible things, Tom Brady. Heaven forbid he has a rough year. You know, I know he's had such a tough life, Tom Brady, that now he's going through some adversity, and they're probably still going to make the playoffs.
You mean you got a divorce from your supermodel wife?
And win a game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak on his personal level, but it couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Do you think he's nice?
I enjoy him.
I think he's a robot. I don't know that he's nice.
That's what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
personality-wise. Like, you think he's nice?
He's funny.
If we're talking about the GOAT,
He's funny, but looks ain't everything.
That's true. Now, just to let some behind the scenes stuff go. One, Alex Gullett, Mr. Dallas defender over here. You were going through it last night, buddy.
bro,
Talk on it.
You guys
Speak
had
on
me
just
going.
You just go. Whoa. You
Somebody
guys
poured a little gas.
You guys, come
and
on
he
now.
lit the fire.
first of all, Dallas is the most hated team in professional sports.
Deservedly, yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'm voting the Yankees or the Blue Devils, but
Absolutely not. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Guaranteed. And I'm all right with that. I can live with the Dallas Cowboys being the most hated team.
no, the Cowboys fans aren't the most hated team. I'm gonna let you go in a second, but I think it's the fans that everybody hates, not the team.
Anyways.
That was
so
a personal
listen.
shot at you. I hate it when mom and dad fight. I'm gonna let you guys figure out who's who, but
Yeah, so basically, Frank starts machine gunning 20 messages about
3 messages.
Dak versus Kirk and Dak and Cowboys and yada, yada, yada. And then,
stay tuned. Episode 4, we're gonna have a nice little would you rather.
yeah, and I'm watching the game last night, and he's like, oh, I guess that interception wasn't Dak's fault. And I'm like, you're not even watching the game. And then he puts LOL, so I know he wasn't watching the game. He's sitting there watching like the ticker, and it goes interception. It was like he didn't know that it hit him right in the chest, and he dropped it. Peyton Hendershot, and he's just trying to be smart. And I'm like, I can't even argue with.
Why are you throwing the ball to Peyton Hendershot anyway?
I was finishing.
Shout out best tight end room in the NFL.
I was finishing Harry and Meghan, the documentary on Netflix. Nobody wanted to watch the backup.
And this is what I knew.
Jeez.
That's
versus the
exactly
backup.
what I knew, and I'm going. I'm not even going to entertain this. But then when he
And
threw
then
the
you
second
You
interception.
immediately threw I'm not going to entertain this, and threw about 14 texts
No.
out.
I stopped, and then remember he threw the other interception, and then immediately Frank texted, and you were like, "Oh, you had that one in the chamber,
He
bro.
had that one in the chamber ready.
Ready."
Listen, the pin was
Ready.
pulled. He was looking at you. He was double dutching. He was just waiting.
He's refreshing his ticker like every 30 seconds, waiting for something bad to happen.
So the whole time, I'm understanding that on your fantasy football team, which I'm rooting for you to win the championship in our league, that
Say
you're
that
playing
again. Who'd I just beat to get there?
Man, Tua. You stupid concussions. Hate your life. So that and then
Stupid concussions.
and then I take a defense against the 31st ranked offense in the NFL.
Go Baker. Go Baker.
And the Rams score 51, and I lose by 8 points, which they had -4. If they could have just showed up somehow. I don't know. Anyways, beyond that, yeah, it was like 3 comments and 14 LOLs, and you had 75 comments
Yeah,
later.
when it was
they were all legit too, though.
They were great.
good.
They were great
good.
comments, and
They were
then
good.
all of a sudden Paul comes in. You snap in, and you're like, "Are you all right, man? Like,
was
are you
just-
going through
Listen,
it, bro?"
I just wanted to check on your mental health.
I've got
because
your back.
The Tua thing shook me. Okay, so I wanted to make sure, as a man,
Yeah,
you were good.
I wasn't. No,
you
I
weren't.
mean, my answer was I'm a Cowboys fan and a Lakers fan, so I spend 9 months of my year completely broken, just a mess of a fan.
I'm gonna tell you. Last night I was watching H and Meg, or Harry and Meghan, as it's called, H and Meg going through it, and I felt such disdain that I feel like I had to share because hurt people, so I felt like hurting you a little bit, throwing out some Dak versus Kirk Cousins.
Hey, listen,
comparisons.
great tee up for marriage advice coming later on.
Jeez.
But Jesus,
Episode 4. Tune in later in the week for marriage advice. I think one of them is going to be tune in to H and
watch
M.
Meg and
right?
Harry. Like,
Meg and Harry.
H and Meg,
H and Meg.
Meg.
Right, the prince and princess, formerly, I
the
guess.
Dutch and Duchess.
So listen, Cowboys. If you can't beat Josh Dobbs and a depleted Tennessee team I get Thursday night, it's whatever, they won. And at the end of the day, they won. That's all that matters.
let's put perspective on that. First of all, how did Birdman say it? Put some respect on his name. Y'all gonna need to put some respect on the Cowboys' name because it's not easy in the NFL to win a football game, much less win 3 in 11 days. All of them primetime football. So you know what we looked like last night? We looked like a banged up team that just got done playing 3 games in 11 days, and we still found a way to win.
Out of the 3
So,
games, how many starting quarterbacks did you play against?
it's none of your business.
Well, let's look forward to this
One.
weekend. that was so delayed. Couple things, just some last bullet points for the NFL. There's a few big games on this weekend. There's a couple loser leaves town games. Games where if you don't win this weekend, your playoff shot's over. The first one I have, San Francisco, Minnesota. This is that epic battle for the 2 seed. Really, I mean, so what do we see? Frank, what are you looking forward to in San Francisco, Minnesota?
I am looking forward to watching good football. That's what I'm looking forward. There's not really anything I can get from this because, honestly, a 2nd seed, it's important, but at the end of the day, Minnesota needs to prove themselves. San Francisco's trying to prove themselves. They're going to fight. They're going to scrap. As long as it's a good game, I'll be happy, and that's what I want. I'm looking forward to watching a good game of football, and honestly, the winner of this, it's regular season. It's near the end of the year. Yeah, it's important. There's some mental games being played, but for real, it's just a good game.
Yeah, that's. I mean, well, I guess it's not San Francisco, Minnesota. It's which team is going to get the second seed. I guess is how I should have shaped. I set you up for failure there, buddy.
I was
set
going
you
with
up.
the notes.
You thought it was another Brock Purdy.
I was getting sent
That was-
again. That's
that was
it.
good. Alex, who do you think
That's
ends
got to
up?
be a -10, just for
I'm
scorekeeping.
going to take -10 for that one, and I'm going to give Frank +3 for making
Great
it
job,
work.
Frank. Great job. Made it work.
Thanks,
Alex,
guys.
who do you think ends up with the second seed, San Francisco or Minnesota?
No, I think Minnesota ends up with second seed. I think they have Green Bay left on their schedule. That's actually this week at
Yeah,
Green
but
Bay. That's a
at
tough
Green
game.
Bay.
Lambeau.
Tough game, but
That is
Green
a
Bay's
tough-
not the same. I think
They
Minnesota's
just won 3 in a row.
cool. So, but I think
Cool shoes, bro.
I think Minnesota has their number this year. You talked about it earlier. What was their double-digit win this year?
The first game. The first
Green
game
Bay.
against Green Bay.
The first-
in Minnesota, though.
Yeah.
I think they win by double digits again this
Did you
week.
see the Green Bay
Yeah.
defensive back talking junk, talking about that was a fluke?
Yeah, he said he's Justin Jefferson's just a man, and the first game was a fluke. Keep talking, bro.
Just a man. Just
We're gonna
He had
see.
like
Man.
11 flukes for 180 fluke yards and like a couple touchdown flukes. There was a lot of fluke.
Well,
Tutties.
listen. You know what they say about flukes, right? The
No.
fluke is one of the most largest species of fish in the ocean. So if you go fishing for a fluke, you just might get one.
You just might
there's a
get
moment
one.
when I look at Alex and I see the same thought in my mind, like, so there's a fish named Fluke. All right, that's what we're going with that.
Hey, we were both like,
Shout
I
out
don't
fishermen
know.
out there, I guess. Panthers Bucks. Alex, Panthers Bucks. You know, right now, if the best conference is the one that the Bills are in,
The NFC East.
the AFC beast. You know, the NFC East has been okay, but they've cooled off the last 3 weeks. The NFC South is just hot trash. They might be
they are a
they
mess.
might be the water underneath the trash.
No, they are a complete mess.
The Panthers Bucks this weekend. Whoever wins this is in the driver's seat for that division. The Panthers have looked amazing since Steve Wilkes.
Can they really
got
run the
job.
ball like that?
They seem to do it every 3 weeks.
Are they San Francisco Junior? Who are these guys?
It's almost the days, back when they had D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart.
Right,
where
they're
it was just-
pounding the ball,
just
man.
run the ball. I mean,
Except for it's just one guy.
yeah, Chuba Hubbard has come on a couple games.
Chubba.
Dante Foreman. I don't know what that was, so I'm going to ignore it. I think Steve Wilkes probably keeps his job because of this performance.
FYI, you can't hear a name like Chubba Hubbard and not repeatedly say it. Say it 3 times as fast as you can.
I won't. I guess remember to
No.
for
You
all
thought about it though.
you were doing it in your head. Huh? All those fans out there who are waiting, remember, the Cowboys are likely going to get that stupid, hey, we're going to have 12, 13 wins and probably still have to play a road game.
And I'm
it's-
okay with that.
It's going to be, so who gives the Cowboys more problems? Is it the Panthers? Is it the Bucks? Or is it neither?
No, I tell you what, as a Cowboys fan, first of all, I think the Bucks win this week. I think Brady pulls another one out. I think he's just Tom Brady. And I think Carolina.
Check that. Yeah,
He is Tom Brady, right?
is Tom
He's
Brady.
still TB12. Yeah, it's
Supposedly.
official. And I think Sam Darnold does Sam Darnold things against Tampa Bay's defense. And it's going to catch up to him.
He's going to see ghosts.
Yeah, that's right. And so I love Tampa Bay. And also, as a Cowboys fan, coming off of last year, in the first game of this year, you don't want anybody but Tampa Bay and San Francisco. Any other way is a wash. If we're going to lose, I want to lose to Tampa Bay or San Francisco.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Jerry Jones does not want to play Tom Brady in the first game.
I bet he
I'm going
does.
to go out on a limb. Just a real small limb. Nobody wants to play Tom Brady in the playoffs.
I think Jerry does.
I like what the Panthers have done. It's amazing that this team has had, 3 different starting quarterbacks, all of which they've said, Baker's the guy. No, PJ Walker, he's the guy. Maybe Sam Darnold. This is a team that has completely changed their style several different ways. They get rid of McCaffrey, and it's a better football
But
team.
I think you know what they had to do? I think releasing Baker Mayfield,
Win
like they
some
did,
games.
gave Darnold the confidence to come and play football.
Yeah,
It's hard
You're
to
not
play
wrong.
when you got somebody over your shoulder. I mean, that's
Ah.
football. You draft a quarterback.
got
and then
2
the-
quarterbacks, you have none.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, but
And
the same coaches that say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you got none, also say, hey, iron sharpens iron, guys. I think it's a load of hogwash either way. I think what happens is Steve Wilkes came in there and said, guess what, fellas? All of you are playing for your jobs.
Is he the same
Shout out
bouncer?
Steve Wilkes.
Was he the bouncer off Jerry?
That's Steve Wilkos.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Steve Wilkes. We're gonna have to take 2
Frank,
points away.
listen.
Same guy to me. That's how much I care about.
We've
them.
now had to analyze a San Francisco Minnesota game. We've got a Steve Wilkos shout out as the coach of Carolina.
That's
This
okay.
is going way far.
Jerry helped shape my childhood. That's all I'm saying.
It's very true.
I do have a question for you, Frank, because you've been on this team, the Seattle Seahawks. That has been your darling team this year. You love Geno. I don't know if it's because you thought he was Italian, but and he might be.
I never thought he was Italian.
Oh well, I mean he could be. You never know. I don't know the man's ancestry.
Gino Bani.
But the Jets play the Seahawks, and this is probably another loser leaves town, right? Their playoff dreams could be crumbled.
Definitely.
So what do you think, man? What's going to happen this game?
I don't know. It's going to be a good game. I hate going to the same adage I went to the first one, but the point is for this one, I think the Jets are cooling down. I don't think they were as good as they were.
They got a quarterback problem.
They got more than a quarterback problem. They had a running back answer, and that got hurt. And ever since then,
Shout out Brees Hall.
Mr. Hall, you were everything.
I traded Frank Brees Hall
Again,
the week he got
my
hurt.
fantasy football team took a dive after that. But Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, I think the boys are there. I think Seattle's real. I think the 12th man is real. Like the stadium, if they can get a home game, they can get a win. I think anybody who goes to Seattle can lose. I don't care what team it is. You can go up there and get it. And I'm not even a Seahawks fan. I don't even like them.
That was years ago. It was that weird. Hey, Seattle finished, I think 7-9 that year, and had a home game against the Saints, who looked like world beaters, and then the Saints lost. Yeah. So I think the Jets.
They beat out the Rams in the last game of the season.
They did.
The St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams. Shout out.
Remember that team, Frank?
Rest in peace.
I wanted them to win so bad.
Cronky.
So bad.
Sorry, buddy. I think the Jets definitely. If they lose, I think they can still look at the season and say, you know what, it was a decent season. I think there's
great draft.
Everybody
great
says
setup,
there's
a lot of young, a lot of youth there.
Sauce is the real deal.
Sauce. I just think there's a lot of pieces there, but I do think Seattle is probably the crew that you say that they got a lot more to gain. I think Seattle's going to end up winning.
Better coach, better receivers,
Really?
better quarterback,
better fans,
better running back that's healthy.
Yeah, better fans is better people.
Better fans. Better people.
The New York Jets don't even play in New York. Shout out, there's only one team in New York. That'd be the Buffalo Bills.
They did shoot Twilight
Well, that's true.
up by there. So
Forks, shout out.
Yeah.
Cullens.
How about that?
That's a 1-3-40.
That's
Hey, listen,
That's
being
what it
funny,
is.
I've been on Team Jacob from day one.
Are you serious right
we
now?
have got Jerry Springer. We got a Twilight reference. What is going on? This, we're for the people. We're for the people. We're hitting demographics.
Were you Team Jacob, Paul? You got to answer it, right?
I was Team Human. So yeah,
So you're Team Bella
I was
until?
movie night
Or
with
you're like-
Bella. I was. Yeah, who was that? Anna Kendrick, early Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
Shout out humans in that. They get a bad rap.
That is the truth.
That's my favorite animal.
do.
They were
Is a
definitely-
human.
They were
That's my
definitely
favorite animal.
The third species in that setup.
Speaking of the one New York team, the true New York team, my Buffalo Bills.
Giants? Oh. Okay.
Get out. They play in Jersey, bro. They ski in their jeans. Don't talk about it. All right? The Bills have the Bengals Monday night. Y'all go ahead and give your thoughts because I have some thoughts on this game. Alex, you want to go ahead and tell me what do you expect out of Monday's game?
All right, so when I look at quarterback rankings in the NFL, this is the way my top three goes. It goes Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. Give me Cincinnati.
That hurt my heart a little bit, but that's okay. Go ahead, Frankie. What do you think?
So I will say, only because of injury, is Josh Allen not number one? Only because of injury is he fighting for the second position?
Joe Cool,
But I will
bro.
tell you right now, it's Joe Burrow time in the NFL.
Joe
He's
Burrow.
walking up at the end of the season. This is when he shines. This is when everything happens. This is when he becomes his best. And I'm taking the Bills.
The dude has one season where he gets hot, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's Joe Cool. He's Joe Burrow.
Let me know
first of all,
if it's not happening this season again.
Did they look great against the Patriots last week?
Yes,
They did not look
Yes.
great. They were losing practically the whole game. What are you talking about, bro?
they won.
Listen, don't make me start shooting text to you like you did last night, all right? Listen, great, they won, but it did not look good. They probably should have lost that game.
We're reaching a tipping point.
The Bills, I'm taking your fan card away, Mr. I love Josh Allen, and then try to blaspheme him over text.
This isn't the first time.
You're sipping that Nick
He
Wright
lost
stuff.
me my football season.
This isn't the
fantasy.
first time.
It's not my fault that you didn't pick him. Okay.
Truth.
Now, I think Monday night is going to be an interesting barometer of where the AFC is going. Could this be a potential AFC championship rematch? Could we see this again? Probably.
No.
We could see. Listen, I get Kansas City's good, but if a home game is on the table, if the Bills get the 1 seed and the road to the Super Bowl goes through Buffalo in the AFC, you cannot tell me it's the same. The Bills have already gone into Kansas City and beaten them there.
But they
this
don't get the
season.
1 seed if they lose to Cincinnati this week.
I don't think it's a championship thing. I think it's going to be the Bills on one side and the Chiefs on the other. So the Bengals got to beat the Chiefs for this to happen.
Which you are so quick to forget last year, right? You talked about this is his time. Last I checked, Joe Burrow beat the Chiefs last year in the
did.
playoffs.
He did. I don't think it's happening again.
Well, it could. It could. Now, again, my prediction, Bills win by 7. It's in Cincinnati. I think they're favored by 1.5 points.
1 point.
I think it's down to 1, huh? I think that the UCL and the elbow is still giving him trouble, but I think they found something. Now he needs to get right with Stephon Diggs because that chemistry's been off.
That's going to hurt him.
I think Bills
figure
win
that out.
I think Bills win by 10 plus.
Thank you. You totally, you talk all this crap. You talk about Joe Burrow. You talk about this, and then you say something like that
All right,
and totally redeem yourself, bro.
But can we have...
We're at the tipping point.
All right, listen. Here's my problem. All right? The Bills' defense doesn't look the same since Von Miller went down.
They've looked better since then.
They have not. Absolutely not.
They did get Trey White back, though.
They did get Trey White back,
and
and
it
I like
shored
that
up
on
the
back
problem
end.
that they had.
It did not. It absolutely
I mean, they
did
couldn't
not.
sack the quarterback last year. Well, there's no difference in what they are.
That's why they didn't win a Super Bowl.
But the
Get the
defense
patty
is shored
once,
up
and
the same
the
way it
game's
was.
over.
And I think that the offense
Win
is
a coin
dramatically
flip
better.
and you win and you go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, maybe.
So-
Gabe Davis has stepped up.
Now, they
My
did
favorite number 2 receiver in the NFL, Gabe Davis.
I thought you were going to go Cole Beasley. Cowboy and Bill. Cowboy and Bill. Now, from guys who are playing on Sundays to players who want to be playing on Sundays next year, let's talk about college football. Again, we have several games going, right? We got several games going on. It's been a fun bowl season. We've talked about Coach Prime and Jackson State being involved in a bowl game. If you didn't see our second episode about Coach Prime, check that out now.
Absolutely.
There's some strong, and he had a solid, if not spectacular, recruiting day.
We coming.
And it turns out
I ain't hard to find. I ain't hard to find.
We're going to be smart, fast, disciplined, all that.
And if you come, you get to join my Prime Video series next year.
Now, just a couple games that I want to touch on. We don't need to talk about them again. These are, I hate to say it, but these are showcase games for certain people. Tennessee versus Clemson, the Orange Bowl. This is the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Hendon Hooker went down with an ACL. He's probably heading to the NFL. Second, third round pick maybe. Clemson, their quarterback, DJ Ugalele, is heading. He's heading to. Man, I had so much faith in him when he first went to Clemson.
Yeah.
Coming out of Mater Dei, he just looked so great.
I like the name.
DJ Ugalele.
Chubba Uga.
He entered the transfer portal. It turns out he's going to go to Oregon State. Surprise, surprise. That's where his brother's going to go to. Shocker there, right? So you have the Orange Bowl. Who's going to win? I don't know. Clemson really needs to kind of get back into shape where they were the last few years.
Oh, you playing this one like Isaiah Thomas? I'm ready to hear your pick because I understand
do
there's
it.
a little bit of background right now, and you're not saying it.
You can't pick Tennessee without
hate
Hooker.
Tennessee. I despise Tennessee.
Alex has no clue what's going on.
Deborah
and I
Joyce
love it.
Chandler, my mother-in-law, love you very much, love you, but she would constantly. She doesn't watch college football,
Never.
But if
She hasn't
Tennessee
watched
is
3
on,
minutes.
she will make sure she texts me and goes, "Haha, Tennessee won again." Hate it. Every time I bet against Tennessee, they win. Every time I go, you know what? I'm going to pick Tennessee this game. They end up losing. So I loathe Tennessee. Tennessee, I hate Rocky Top. That dog is a stupid-looking dog. Rocky Top is a dumb song. Orange is the worst
Wow.
color. Listen, I don't want to hear it, okay? Don't want to hear it.
It's a great vacation place.
They looked a lot better than they really are early in the season. They're not great.
That the wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt's the truth.
So what's your pick?
Clemson all day. I don't care if it's by listen, Clemson, please.
Clemson
please,
by half a point.
Dabo, please do something.
It's my pick too. I'm taking Clemson.
The next game I have Cotton Bowl real quick. Again, can Tulane ride this green wave against USC and Mr. Heisman? Caleb Williams. I don't think it's. I think USC is going to crush them.
I think they roll.
The only thing that's going to hurt them is the amount of players who are sitting out and skipping the bowl game and getting ready for the draft, like wide receiver Jordan Addison. You know,
But they're uber talented. They'll make up for that.
I think Caleb uses this as a springboard into next year, trying to be a back-to-back Heisman winner.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's possible. I think it's possible. So my pick there is going to be, I think USC. I mean,
I agree.
Cinderella. Sorry, you know the carriage turns back to a pumpkin. Sorry, Tulane. You can ride that green wave home.
Pumpkin season is over.
It's past midnight.
Click clock, click clock. Utah, Penn State.
Shout out Cinderella.
Penn State is such a weird team. You know, Utah has this crazy. Utah managed to beat USC, which if Utah does not beat USC in the Pac-12 championship, I think Ohio State is probably playing against Penn State or playing someone else and not in the college football playoff.
I agree.
Because I mean, they have done amazing things in Utah. Their tight end Dalton Kincaid is probably going to be the top tight end off the board in the NFL draft. I just think Penn State seems like very like a paper champ. I mean, who did they didn't really beat anybody. Again, this was our argument of why Alabama should have been in and not Ohio State.
Say it again.
Alabama should have been and not Ohio State.
Boom.
I thought you were going to drop some.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
It's
Boom.
coming.
Well, you can wait all day. I think the Utes take care of business and beat the Nittany Lions. Was it Sean Clifford? I think it's Sean Clifford has been at Penn State, it seems like, for 47 years. I think he still has like 15 years of eligibility left. This guy has got to be 43 years old.
He's
37.
He's legitimately 29, I think.
I mean, it's almost Chris Winkie-like. I mean, except for the talent. I mean, other than that, it's like, and then the game I'm going to be watching, again, Kansas State, Alabama.
Kansas State, Alabama.
Alabama has already, I mean, they have 2 of the top 5 picks in the NFL draft. And my favorite prospect, edge rusher, Will Anderson, who is just phenomenal. If I'm Houston and I have the first pick, that's who I pick. Then you have.
Is he your favorite prospect is because you want an edge rusher for Buffalo?
No, he's not going to be there in the
Buffalo's
draft.
not going to be
No,
there.
I know.
He's not going to be
I'm
there
just
for
saying,
Buffalo.
I'm watching these things happen where it's like, oh, well, you know, Buffalo needs this. This is going to be my
He
thing.
probably drops to like 4 or 5 though, just because of
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's and his teammate. I mean, Bryce Young. Everybody seems to love Bryce Young. I think he's a great college quarterback. I don't know that he's going to be great at the next level. Everybody says he's calm, cool, collected. That phrase everybody uses. To me, it just looks like he's very
Matt Leinart-ish.
analytical. Well, I think he's got more athleticism and more talent than Matt Leinart. He's got more zip on the ball, but I just don't. To me, he's Russ Wilson.
Vince Young?
You know, no, he's not.
Vince
He's not athletic.
Vince Young's
that.
like a top 5 college football player ever.
Vince Young's like Lamar Jackson.
I'm doing
You know, I think
NFL
that's-
comparison. Not
I think-
Oh, got you. Okay.
I think he's Russell Wilson coming out.
Matt Leinart. Matt Leinart had a great career.
Well, Bryce Young had a great career too, Heisman winner. You know, if he would have all the Alabama records if he stayed another year, he already said no, I'm not. He waved goodbye to everyone.
He can't stay.
now
Make
on the-
your money, son.
On the flip side of that, Kansas State, the darling of the Big 12, you know, they have a sick running back.
Who'd they just come off a win off of?
TCU in the championship. They beat TCU in the championship.
Yeah.
And this running back they have, Deuce Vaughn. He's Mighty Mouse. He is 5'6", over 1,400 rushing yards. He has a lot of Ray Rice in him. He's just,
Maurice Jones-Drew?
yes, he's just muscle hamster.
Hopefully
right?
the good part of
2.0.
Ray Rice.
Oh yeah, it's
Don't make me smack you.
don't do that. I don't think Deuce Vaughn has.
Is there
that
any
kind of
elevators
character.
around here?
Don't do that.
Checking for elevators.
Don't do that. My pick ultimately is going to be Alabama. Obviously, I think Nick Saban is going to have his guys wired, ready to go, and explain to them, this is your last showcase. It seems like when everybody started opting out of skipping the bowl game to focus on the draft, all the Alabama guys were like, no, we're staying in. We're going to prove to everybody we should have been the 4th team in the college football playoff.
And because of you guys, there's no way I can't take Kansas State here.
Yeah,
I'm
you're gonna-
so glad you took Kansas State, though.
I can't even. I can't even express how little I'm going to watch of this game, and I'm taking Kansas State.
There's a record of your picks being so tragically awful that I'm glad you take Kansas State because now Alabama has to win.
Last I saw, they were 7-point favorites. By game time, that's probably going to be up to.
I ain't no Charles Barkley now.
Come on, Chuck.
Speak on it. That leads us to the teams who actually made college football playoff. Want to get a little bit more in depth. Again, the first game let's talk about, TCU finishing 12-1 against Michigan, 13-0. That's going to be a Fiesta Bowl. So the biggest headline I have, the summary is, can Max Duggan, again, Heisman finalist for TCU, lead his team past an undefeated Michigan team? Now, we've already called it in. One Lane LaFada, your eldest child, has already said it's Michigan all day. Frank, do you agree with him?
1,000%. And
That's a lot of percent.
I am praying for them to make it. I want them to win.
Is it that serious?
Yes.
There's so many other things you could pray for.
There's a revenge game on my mind.
Okay. So, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I love Michigan in this game. I think the number 2 scoring defense in the country, only behind those Bulldogs over there in Georgia. That's a major thing. TCU is going to have to try to establish the run on that team, and I don't think they can. I know Michigan's missing their running back, starting running back. But they played last game without him, a couple games without him, and they still are able to move the ball. So give me Michigan. I like them to cover. I also like the under. So I like Michigan 7.5, and I like the under.
Yeah, TCU, like I said, it's been a Cinderella season. They probably have the best wide receiver that's going into the draft, Quentin Johnston. Yeah, no, he's 6'5". He's cut. All the NFL scouts and executives, when they were doing their polls, said this guy's the truth, and he's got a lot of dog in him. Frank, I know you like that when players got some dog in them. Mm-hmm. He does. My only issue is TCU. Again, we just saw it with Kansas State in the Big 12 championship. You can run on them.
Yeah.
And if Deuce Vaughn can run on you, no, they don't have Blake Corum. They don't have their Heisman candidate for most of the season at Michigan. But Donovan Edwards?
Edwards has been carrying the rock, bro.
He is. The last 2 games, he's rushed for over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He is doing his best Blake Corum impression. I mean,
Edwards is rushing the ball.
And these ain't the first year. This ain't the first of the year. This is the end of the year. These games matter.
Cold tough. Games. It was against Ohio State. Yeah, it's this.
Great teams.
So I think, TCU managed to cash in and crash this blue blood party of the same schools are in the Final Four every year. But I think Cinderella, again, it's time for her to go home. So I think Michigan does win. The other game, which I know.
Shout out to the fairy godmother. She don't get enough love.
Oh, come on.
Hey, who are you talking? Was that a shout out to your wife?
Cinderella.
This is another episode where you have shouted out another woman before your wife.
Every
godmother
episode
is in front. It's not.
I already
real.
shouted out Cinderella, so you're going
That's
with
why
fairy
I
godmother.
went with fairy godmother.
You know what? I'm trying to help you.
Ashley, listen, we're here for you. If you need to talk,
I said fairy godmother. It's her favorite thing. She loves Cinderella.
Shout out.
I did shout out Harry and Meg before.
You did though.
H and Meg.
The other game we have Ohio State again, 11-1, taking on
Go Buckeyes.
Georgia Bulldogs in the Peach Bowl.
Go Buckeyes.
Will the Bulldogs be able to repeat as championship, or will the Buckeyes prove to everyone that they deserved a spot as the Final Four team? Frank, I'm going to let you go first because you are chomping at the bit.
So there's in my mind that we had this conversation. The only reason why anybody's even talking about Alabama is because they did make it. And if they did make it, nobody would be saying a word about, the playoff committee's trash. Nobody would talk about it. But because Alabama did make it, now the playoff committee's
I thought
trash.
you asked a question about Ohio State.
Wait for it. So then now Ohio State, this is redemption. This is to prove the haters wrong. This is to prove everybody what's going wrong. Plus, don't you want to play Michigan for the finale, the revenge game for the championship? Talk about wow.
It'd be a great national championship
It would be
game.
Phenomenal. Any other way, it's not. This is storybook stuff right here. Storybook stuff.
Shout out Cinderella.
I don't think you're wrong. I think
Shout out the Prince.
I think a Michigan Ohio State kind of finish would be interesting. But again, if Ohio State beat Michigan, I think Michigan could do the UCF thing and be like, you know what? Forget it. We beat them once. They beat us once. We're going to give ourselves a national championship ring anyway.
No way. This rivalry is too fierce.
It is one of the best rivalries. I don't think they're going to be there. Alex, do you think that Ohio State's going to beat Georgia?
Absolutely not. I think Georgia is clearly the best team in the nation. I love what Ohio State has going on, though. Like, to talk serious about it, Stroud, Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably my favorite player. Love that. I mean, his dad was an amazing receiver.
I pray that he goes to Indianapolis. I think it'd be so good.
I pray he goes to Dallas. We're looking for a number
Both
2.
got to wait another year, so.
Yeah, and that's okay.
You guys got T.Y. Hilton. It's all good now.
Yeah, thank you for that. But no, man, it's crazy. The Bulldogs are only -6.5. So Michigan is favored more over TCU than Georgia is Ohio State. I get it a little bit. 6.5 seems low. Give me Georgia. Love them by 10+. But I also like the under. I think Ohio State has a hard time scoring.
Yeah, like you said, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he only has 4 drops all year, something like that. I think they all happened during the Michigan game.
Yeah.
It's C.J. Stroud. I think that he probably has a chip on his shoulder. I really thought it's my thought that he was thinking the Heisman is mine to lose. I'm going to win the Heisman, which it's a great mentality to have.
And he lost it.
Georgia.
I tell you what, it's easier to eat chips with dip than get it kicked down your throat by a bulldog. So
I have no idea what that means.
That's exactly what it is. You got a chip, eat it with some dip, man. That's what you need. Salsa, you know what I mean?
Hit in the comments if you know anything that he's talking about now.
Yes, that's it.
Georgia's defense. Now, the Georgia offense isn't as dynamic as it was last year. George Pickens moved on. James Cook is now running the ball in Buffalo, looking really good. They've lost a lot of their weapons. But that defense, led by Kirby Smart, just is dauntless. And Jalen Carter is he is a man.
Them boys are big on that line.
And they rotate through everybody on the defensive line. I mean, it's constant. So in my opinion, the key to the game is going to be the Georgia tight ends. They have 2 tight ends.
The best tight ends in the nation.
It is the best. You said Dallas has the best tight end room
in the NFL. Yeah, Georgia has.
I think they have the best tight end room in the country at Georgia, and that includes NFL, because Brock Bowers, the things he's doing as a sophomore,
incredible.
True sophomore, is amazing. I think his offensive prowess, it's not up there with Marvin Harrison Jr., but it's not far off. And then the other tight end they have, Darnell Washington. I mean, you talk about a huge guy, 6'7". He looks like Antonio Gates. I mean, this is a huge guy. Looks like he should be playing power forward for the Denver Nuggets, not tight end for Georgia.
He's big.
So I think Stetson Bennett takes care of business. I think Georgia rolls on. I think the Bulldogs end up meeting the Michigan Wolverines in the college football final, which we'll talk about probably episode 5.
And I love the Bulldogs. I think they're clearly the best team. I'd love to see Harbaugh get a championship. Love to see Harbaugh get a championship.
I think, and I know Michigan fans are going to go off the rails. I think it's very hard for you to stay at a high level when the game of their year is always Ohio State. So I think beating Ohio State, I think Harbaugh has proved to everybody he is a legitimate coach. And I think he might not be at Michigan next year. I think he might be in Indianapolis. He might go back to the NFL.
Would he be in Denver?
I don't think there's any ties to Denver.
The rumor. The rumor.
Hey, but they've got him on the list.
Could be. Now, we've talked about all these games, right? We've talked about plenty of games. Like I said early on at the show beginning, we managed to do the impossible last week. We beat the Sultan of the Spread. We beat the King of Cash. We beat the Prince of the Points. We beat Uncle Sam.
It happens.
We are 1-1 against Uncle Sam.
Smoked you, fool.
It's amazing. So this week, let's see. You want to start with our picks, or you want to give his picks first?
Give his picks.
Yeah, give
All right,
his
so
picks.
Uncle Sam has the following. He has the Texans +4 over the Jags, the Jets -1.5 over the Seahawks, and his stone cold
lot.
The Packers -3 over the Vikings. Those are the ones we're shooting against, guys. Frank, what's your pick for this week?
I love the Texans over the Jags, so I can't go against that.
What?
I do. I think the Texans are playing on a different. I think their frequency is different right now, man. Their defense is doing something else. Jets over the Seahawks. I don't like that. I think the Jets are spent. They're cashed. I like the Seahawks, so that's gonna be my pick. that's the separator. I'm taking the Seahawks over the Jets.
Going against Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Head to head.
So
But
you're
I
going.
I also love the Packers over the Vikings, though. I love. That's why I said I had to think hard if I was going to. I wanted to go
This week on Bet with Uncle Sam, Frank
Yeah.
is going.
What are we doing? You're supposed to give your pick.
That was my picks. I looked at
It
his.
took you
I was-
12 minutes to give your pick.
You are that
in
kid
for?
that I have in class. It's like, he took my answer. He took
Do
all
we
my
have?
answers.
Do we have homework?
We never have homework in Mr. Nelson's class. I
Go
don't
ahead,
believe in
Mr.
homework.
Nelson. Keep
Homework
it
is
up, bro.
fake. Homework is fake news. Alex, what do you have as your
What's
pick?
mine say right there? I didn't change it. Didn't do anything. I didn't even know Uncle Sam
Oh,
had picked
man.
Green Bay before I made this pick. But my best bet of the week, remember I had Jacksonville last week, Stone Cold Lock. That hit. I like Jacksonville also this week. Don't know what he's talking with that Texan stuff. He just downloaded DraftKings. So we got to be real careful when listening to him. But I love Minnesota plus 3.5 at Green Bay. I think they roll. Justin Jefferson's unstoppable. Jair Alexander, you talk too much, bro. Get it straight. And we ain't even talked about Dalvin Cook yet. So love Minnesota this week. That's my pick.
Listen, Frank's going to hate this bet. I like Alabama. Alabama is a 7-point favorite. I have Alabama covering.
I love that.
For sure. Again, I don't think Kansas State can hang with Alabama. You can chant SEC. You can say whatever. You're a front runner. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. You don't pay my bills. All I'm saying is Alabama's going to take care of business.
Love that.
So we have 2 head-to-head bets with Uncle Sam. We're going to see who's right. And then, again, Alabama, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go 3-0 and smoke Uncle Sam again.
Boom.
Now, so that's our best bets. Again, comment what bets you think we should make in the future. Comments on what we got right, what we got wrong. Head to our YouTube channel. You'll see us on Instagram. You'll see us everywhere. Again, 3 for 3 podcast. You know what's coming up, fellas?
Come on.
It's
The ball is dropping.
yeah, and it's going to be New Year's too.
It's going to be New Year's.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be New Year's. So every year, I always keep in my phone a couple New Year's resolutions. So what we thought would be interesting was to make a couple sports resolutions. So let's go ahead and talk about one sports resolution. This is something that you want to see changed in the coming year. Anybody who wants to go first?
You wanna go go ahead, Frank. You go.
All right, I'll go. So I had a couple. But I'm only gonna pick one out for you guys. I would like one of the 3 major sports to have a relegation clause. I would like to see that if you finish in the bottom 3, you do not get the first pick in the draft. You go down to the minor leagues. I think American sports is missing this type of excitement. It will completely cure tanking.
So you wanted to go more on the soccer.
Yes, I
Bandwidth.
would like to see a relegation clause.
It's very European of you.
It is. I do. I think
Imagine that, Suave.
you don't think those last 3. Those are some of the most exciting soccer games because literally there is fortunes won and lost in them games from owners and ownerships, and for the teams coming up in the other leagues, it is so exciting because you're there to play because the following league you're in the big league and you want to stay. So there's all kinds of drama-filled expectations, but I also believe that European sports is more poetic than American. American's more like Marvel superhero movies, and I believe there's some of that missing, and this will bring some poetic justice.
I can't with this take
Shout
sometimes.
out Tupac.
Do you get?
I'm not going to sit here and listen to you bash America.
Hey, he's got ambitions as a writer. I'm letting you know right now.
It's not ambition. It's not no bashing.
Frank's takes are 2 of America's most wanted.
There's Marvel movies, and then there's the rest of the movies ever made. I would just like a little more poeticness.
Frank,
a
and
little
you
more
wonder why they
love
call
in
you
it.
Boo.
I can't believe you right now. First of all,
Relegation.
okay. Listen, I think it could be interesting. I hate soccer. I hate everything about soccer. To me, soccer is dumb. I can't stand it. I watch a World Cup to cheer on America
Shout out to Pele.
Yes,
rest in
Pele,
power.
man.
Rest
yeah,
in power.
that's
Rest in
crazy.
power. Rest in power.
See how it changes.
I still hate soccer.
Yes.
Soccer's still stupid.
Thank you for
change
that,
my
Paul.
mind.
Appreciate that.
Rest in power, but soccer is dumb.
Hey.
Alex, what's your resolution?
It's not about soccer. So here we go.
I'm a big badminton. I think it should be.
So
Football.
who are you, Borat? So listen, I have. I'm going to do one for the NFL. Here it is. Nathaniel Hackett commits to politely declining any more head coaching positions. That should be in the NFL resolution. No, that's not it.
Take a year off. That's good. That's good.
That's it. I think Nathaniel Hackett, you need a break.
That's collusion right there.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that. That's not mine. You know what I'd love to see from the NFL this year? Let's get Byron Leftwich, D'Amico Ryans, Eric Bieniemy, one of those guys, a head coaching position. They're all deserving. And we're throwing head coaches around with no experience whatsoever right now, i.e. the Colts. So, man, one of those guys. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think this is probably the year that Eric Bieniemy gets that Houston job.
I think so too.
I think Byron Leftwich has kind of cooled off because that offense has just been terrible in Tampa Bay. I think D'Amico Ryans could realistically get a job somewhere.
Best defense in the NFL. It's not even close.
If the Broncos are trying to go defense, then I think you bring him in. I mean, they could bring Shane Waldron in, but I think you're right.
I'd love for Indy to take a look at Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne. Why not, right?
I mean, Jeff Saturday with no experience. Reggie Wayne's got experience. I mean,
go ahead and get Ed Reed. He already accepted a job. He's got experience now.
No, he's like he had 3 days.
I do want to add a name to your list. Leslie Frazier, defensive coordinator for the Bills.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wasn't leaving anybody out. Those were just the ones that I had right on top of my mind when I said it. Leslie Frazier, too. And actually, wasn't he in Minnesota?
He was.
And that didn't work out.
Right.
He deserves another chance.
Yep, I think you're absolutely spot on. Tune in episode 4 where we're going to be talking about NFL would you rather's. So, and a couple of them is going to be a rookie coach. Which rookie coach would you want? So you'll have to tune in to see that one later this week. Mine, I had 2. My first one was going to be about the Yankees. Spend money, but they did. So thank you, Steinbrenner family. Hal Steinbrenner, you said you're not done. Rodon, you brought him in. You brought Judge back. Awesome. Mine is for the NBA. So I love the All-Star game for NBA. I think it's great. It's awesome for them to showcase all their talent. I absolutely hate this idea of a front court and a back court. I
agree.
Absolutely hate it. Make it positionless. That's where basketball is going anyway. We have constantly seen the last 5 years of being
kind of where it is now. It's not even going. It is there.
But you got to think about how many years have we had where you couldn't start KD and LeBron on the same floor? Like you wouldn't be able to. You know what I mean?
Year, just this year,
that's crazy.
So we have Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, and Giannis.
And because they're all going to small forward, power forward,
they're all front court players.
Yeah,
one of them's not going to make it. Like that's ridiculous. Listen, I love Tyrese Halliburton. I love Jaylen Brown. The fact that one of those two is going to make it and make a starting lineup, and we're going to have to drop out Joel Embiid or Giannis or Jason Tatum is absolutely ridiculous. So go ahead and let's just make this positionless. Let's make the All-Pro team, first team, second team positionless. I'm
all for watching Jokic and Embiid run the point. You know what I mean? Like, let them bring the ball up. Let them control it. I'm all for that.
It's time, NBA. It's time. So, again, those are our sports resolutions. Quick before we go, any individual resolutions you guys want to talk about?
Read 3 books this year.
3 books?
Yeah, I'm going.
Curious George, Listen, Care Bears.
What books? I didn't say what books. I said 3 books. That would be 3 more than my average.
Jordan Rules?
No. Maybe. That actually might be good one.
That was our first. Yeah. No, well, maybe.
3 nights in August is one of my lists.
Okay. That's good. Read 3 books, Alex.
Mine is just the word health. And that's for myself and my family. I think mental health, physical health, all of it all around, man.
Health is wealth.
Health is wealth.
My personal one is invest more time, not only in my family. I have it on my phone. Be a better father, be a better husband, be a better man every year. But it's also, luck. I need some luck. We experienced a week this week with no power, no water.
Luck be a lady.
No heat. And these are on separate occasions, all within the last week. So I need some luck on my side.
Christmas week. Crazy.
This was, yes. Apparently I was naughty or something because that was ridiculous. Fellas,
Naughty P.
Next,
that's your rap name, by the way. Naughty P.
That is anything but my rap name.
No, that is your rap name. Naughty P.
Let's look at the tally for today. Who won today? Let's see, Alex. We got to take stuff away because you mentioned Nick Wright, and we hate him.
I did it for you to grab him.
When you say we, you mean you. You're the only
I'm
one.
using.
Thank you.
First of all, Mr.
But since you keep score, I can't really argue.
H and Meg.
Frank said, "Since you keep score."
Listen. H and Meg over here. It was the royal we I was using. Thank you. The royal we. This is close. I think, yeah, I definitely got third because I gave you the wrong game, San Fran, Minnesota. So I was at -7 points. That's okay.
That's pretty good, though.
We actually had Alex and Frank both tied. You guys are both tied with 6 points.
Oh, is it like kissing cousins now?
No. Oh, look at that.
That's not.
We're going to overtime.
And the winner of the episode is actually Lane LaFada.
Lane LaFada,
Lane LaFada won the episode. He helped us bring in our equipment.
Yeah, Lane.
Lane, we're giving you your flowers. Shout outs. Listen, as the new year rolls in, we hope to see a lot of you guys out in the streets. We want to see your comments. We want to see everything you guys got going for us. Remember, reach out to us. Okay, comment on our YouTube page. Reach out on all the different social media platforms.
That's
You're going
right.
to be hearing a lot from us. We're going to drop. I think we're going to drop episode 4 in a couple days.
Absolutely.
So be on the lookout for that. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and remember, go Bills. Go Cowboys. Go.
Go LeBron.
Happy birthday, LeBron.
Go LeBron.